What's up, you guys? It's your boy, the Gotcha Mogul, here again with another banger video for you guys. And today I wanted to kind of create a more discussion-based video for you guys. Just like the title suggests, is going to be around, is Artery Gear a predatory game? And the answer to that, of course, is obvious. Yes, right? All gotcha games, at least right now in the market, are all predatory. That's how their monetization is built. They want to capitalize on as much money coming in from players as much as possible. They hire psychologists and yada 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 in order to make sure and ensure that people spend money on their game. Now, this conversation stemmed from me and my boys. We were watching an Asmongold stream, and of course, I'm sure you guys have heard the news, but gacha games are being banned in various countries. 18 in specific in EU, meaning that it's inching closer and closer to the Western countries like the United States where I live. Alright, so it's one of those things where no, I don't think they're going to be banned, but 100% they will be regulated in the near future. But as of right now, there's nothing concrete that's happening for them to pull back and change their monetization practice. If anything, more gacha games are ramping it up because they're trying to milk the system as much as they can before they kind of get out and before they're forced to change their monetization practice because of global and state laws and etc. etc. So I wanted to create this discussion specifically because there are three games in particular that I know that are popular right now that are competing for the same strategy RPG turn-based space, which is Artery Gear, Dislight, and Epic 7. And out of the three, of course, Dislight and Epic 7 being significantly more predatory than Artery Gear, anything, I think Artery Gear has the best payment system that I've seen out of all of these gacha games. If I'm going to be 100% honest, they're not throwing 500% value packs in your face every 2 seconds that you feel like you need to buy in order to progress, like in Epic 7 and Dislight, right? But what I can say is that this is because their model is based off of the dolphins versus the whales, which I find to be such an incredible business model because it is, from a business sense, more sustainable than a whale milking model, right? Because if you guys didn't know, in these other gacha games like Honkai Impact, like in Genshin, Epic 7, Dislight, I believe the numbers are 0.01% of players make up 75% of the revenue, right? Which is insane to think about. Artery Gear takes a spin on this and says, let's make our game as affordable as possible by not pairing our necessary resources with premium currency, which all of those games do, right? That's how they inflate prices, by pairing premium currency with the resources that you need to progress, like stamina and upgrade packs, right? Which you can only get weekly in this game. But they say, no, let's create a model where all of our packs are affordable and they make sense, but they're affordable to the dolphins so that their progress isn't stagnated to the point where they have to become a whale. So they get just enough as they need to in order to progress, right? Which sounds more sustainable. Trying to keep a handful of probably 400k plus earners interested in your game so that they continue to spend $1,000 a week on your game, or millions of 40 to 70k earners who can probably spare $20 a week on a video game, right? And just by giving up lunch. This is something that is completely and significantly more sustainable for the long-term and health of a game that plans to keep their game around for more than just 3 years, which is the typical lifespan of a gacha, because whales get tired and then they lose. Whales get tired of spending money on that game and then they lose all of their revenue once all the whales decide to quit, right? So I think that is the amazing thing about Artery Gear. Now, the discussion is really based around predatory practices in gacha games. Yes, Artery Gear has its own. All games are going in this space are going to be predatory, right? When you think about gacha games and why you play them, right? My audience says a lot. Google already tells me about you guys and your story, right? You guys are 24 to 32 years old, 24 to 35 to be exact. You're in a weird part of life where you don't have as much time to game as much as you used to. So gacha games capitalize on that vice, right? they know that, hey, you don't have as much time to sit there and grind for hours on end. So if you give us $1, we can save you that hour of your time that is so much more valuable to you than you were when you was in high school, right? Nowadays, you equate your hour of time with how much you get paid per hour at work. In your head, you're going, if I'm making $20 to $30 an hour, I can spend an hour grinding in a game like Artery Gear, and I would potentially be essentially I'll be losing $30 an hour for each hour I spend on this game, or I can give them $1 for progression. Sorry, that was my phone. Or I could give them $1 for progression, right? So it logically it makes sense, and they kind of trigger our vices this way because as you get older, you become more logical. They get you because the efficiency makes sense because you're like, okay, for $1, I'm getting this much more of progression, so I'm essentially saving time, which is essentially saving me money. And this is how they get you, right? This is the predation of it. They're capitalizing over this specific age range and group and audience of players because clearly they're not capitalizing on kids because they're not working, and kids are grinding out games like Fortnite because they have all the time in the world, right? Whereas the older audience, we don't have as much time. So I wanted to kind of get the gears going in you guys' head. I want to know what you guys think about Artery Gear. Do you think this game is predatory? What do you think about the gacha space right now? Why do you even play gacha games? Leave a comment below. I'm very interested in knowing why you guys play gacha games. Is it the waifus? I know for me, it's just I love turn-based games. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of turn-based games that are not gacha games, which is crazy to think about, right? For me, I've always liked like Final Fantasy Tactics. I've always liked just turn-based games altogether, right? That's always been my thing. And it just so happened that a lot of turn-based games end up being gacha games. And I just ended up falling in love with gacha games, right? Because they have all the cute waifus, nice animations for ultimates, all the things that allures me about turn-based games. So that's pretty much it for the video, you guys. I just wanted to have a quick discussion with you guys. Ended up being a bit longer of a video than I had thought, but let me know what your thoughts are on this, on the gacha space, and leave a like, comment below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.